Yo, what is good, YouTube? Welcome back to another JC2K video. In today's video, we are going to be ranking the top 5 best cards at each position here in NBA 2K24 MyTEAM, going from point guard to center and ranking all the top cards in MyTEAM. Although I will say I left 100 overalls off this list. To be fair, there wouldn't be that many 100 overalls destroying these lists or anything, or like dominating these lists, but I decided to leave them out because they're obviously much rarer than any of these other cards. I did include the other gambling cards though. So before we hop into the video, if you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Help me push towards the 25,000 subscriber mark on the channel. I upload every single day. I would really appreciate it if y'all do subscribe. And without further ado, let's hop right into it. So at the point guard spot, number 5 is going to be LaMelo Ball. LaMelo is actually the only non-free point guard on this list. The point guard position has gotten unbelievable amounts of free card love as of late. 6'7" with a 6'10" wingspan. LaMelo is a very good all-around card. The main things that I don't love about him are his animations, because I do think he is super complete. He's athletic, he's versatile, he does a lot of things well. Very complete, very good card. But behind the back is not as good as any of the other cards on this list. Everybody else has Jamal Murray behind the back. Fade, normal fade. It's good, but not incredible. His release, also good, but not incredible. Steph escape is not the best escape in the game, but again, it's not bad. This card is very good. He does a lot of things well. Like, I think he's super duper solid, and I think he's really versatile defensively. At 6'7", he's a nice card, but I think for what I want my point guard to do, I think 5 is totally fair. Eddie Jones at 4, his main flaw is that his release is kind of, I would say ugly more than anything else, because it's certainly not a bad release. It's very smooth and easy to green. He's a really good versatile defender as well. 6'6", does a lot of things well. Basically, he is, I think, very similar to LaMelo in a lot of ways. Better fade though. Also has D-book dribble style, but a better escape. Jamal Murray behind the back. Just overall better animations than LaMelo has, and even though he's an inch shorter, I give him the edge at the PG spot. Number 3 is going to be Gilbert Arenas. Number 1, Gil has Hoff movable enforcer. Both of these guys have it on gold. Yes, he's only 6'4", but he's got elite movement, elite behind the back, and an elite release, which I think elevates the card above both of these guys because his release is exceptional, which is the one question mark for a guy like Eddie Jones. And then defensively, he's a little more versatile, and well, not even just that, I think his movement especially is a little more versatile than LaMelo's, plus I like his release better than LaMelo's as well. So putting him at number 3 feels totally fair. Number 2, and this one's a little controversial, but it's going to be Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. SGA, I do not believe is the best point guard in the game anymore personally. As great as he is, I think number 1 Clyde plays a little bit better as a slasher. Yes, SGA is a phenomenal slasher with elite finishing batters, but also defensively, I mean, SGA is an inch shorter than a Clyde Drexler. Obviously, Clyde's going to be number 1. We'll talk about him in a second. And I also think Clyde's release is a little better than SGA's as well. But SGA's release is still super smooth and easy. Trey fade, very elite sigs. Jamal Murray behind the back, all that type of stuff. You could make an argument he's your favorite point guard and he's the best point guard in the game still, and I wouldn't argue with you in the slightest. I just think Clyde's a little better. He's an inch taller. Honestly, I think I like his catch and shoot release a teeny bit more. I think it might even be a little faster. He also has Trey escape, Jamal Murray behind the back, great movement, Kyrie dribble style, all that type of stuff. Yes, he does not have Hoff handles for days as a base card, which SGA does have. That kind of matters. And I guess if you want to go off of that, then maybe that's something that gives SGA an edge. But to me, I put Hoff handles for days on my Clyde, and I think he plays the defense a little better. He's a little bigger. I like his release a little more, and also I think he just dunks the ball a little more aggressively, which makes sense. Clyde's one of the greatest slashers of all time. SGA has great stats and batters, but he doesn't have the same animation-wise as Clyde does. Shooting guard position, and I'm going to try to go quicker because we're already like 3.5, 4 minutes in this video, and I don't want it to be a 25-minute video or 20-minute video or whatever. So Ricky Davis is who I have at 5 at shooting guard. Ricky Davis is a great shot creator, very good defender. The shooting guard position is insanely deep, so I think like Ricky Davis is at 5 is an incredible card still. Great release, 6'7", really nice release. Well, like I said, playmaking is elite, and honestly defensively he's super good as well. Has golden movable enforcer. Everything on the card is phenomenal. Sigs are great. Jamal Murray behind the back, Kimbo escape, Francis Sizer, Kyrie dribble style, elite release. Honestly, the one nitpick would be that normal fade, and maybe I guess golden movable enforcer instead of Hoff, but I can live without that. Player build's good. Athletically, he's good. He's really good. The shooting guard position is just insanely stacked. Like, Kawhi is a better defensive Ricky Davis. Maybe not quite as good of a release, but does have a better fade and still a very good release. And I think like these guys are pretty much opinion. If you want a little more shot creation, a little more offense, you might go Ricky. If you want a better fade and a little more defense, you're probably going Kawhi. Animation-wise, slightly longer wingspan. Doesn't have the same playmaking ability, though, I will say, although his sigs are just as good. Does not have Pro 2 fade is good, though, but Trey escape, Jamal Murray behind the back definitely help with his movement, which is why I say his sigs are basically just as good. He may not quite be the playmaker that Ricky Davis is, but defensively, he's a little more versatile. definitely better badges. And I honestly think having that Pro 2 fade is a nice little plus as well. Ron Artest at 3 is, I think, the exact same card as Kawhi Leonard, basically, except his release might be a little better. They play the same. They really do. They're both athletic. They both shoot the ball really well. They both play and make fine. Honestly, half handles for days on Ron is a W, though. That does give him a little bit of an edge over Kawhi as a base card. I think release-wise, you could really argue. I think I would go Ron. Ron is the better release to me personally. Has Trey Escape, Jamal Murray behind the back, John Wall drag back. They both got Pro 2 fade. Those two guys are about as close as it gets. If you want to switch them, go for it. But for me, this feels fair. Dr. J, I think, has just one of the very best releases in the game, not to mention one of the very best player builds in the game, looking much bigger than 6'7", in my opinion. Nice long wingspan. I think he defends phenomenally, even with Golden Movable Enforcer, and I think athletically he's exceptional. As a playmaker, he's phenomenal. Francis size up, Kemba Escape, Jamal Murray behind the back, Kyrie's drag rack, Pro 2 fade. Incredible release. I love this card. I think he's the best shooting guard in the game, besides Glenn Rice, who is without a doubt the best shooting guard in the game. And the reason that Glenn is the best shooting guard in the game is quite simple. He has Patty Mills base. Nobody else at the shooting guard position does. He also has Hoff Movable Enforcer at 6'8" at shooting guard. So elite level size, versatile defense, does everything on the court well, of course. Perfect SIGs and that Patty Mills base with an elite fast upper as well. Collins X upper. Fastest release in the game makes him the glitchiest card in the game and the #1 shooting guard and #1 card in my team right now. Small forward position is going to start off with Terry Dishinger. And rest in peace to the dentist. He passed away, last year? And 6'7" with a 6'10" wingspan, hot spots from basically everywhere. I will say his defense, he doesn't have Hoff clamps, which is like a pretty important badge. You want to add that. But I will say he guards his butt off. He really does. Defensive animations are phenomenal. He's an elite slasher and elite shooter. Pretty darn good playmaker as well and has good SIGs. Kemba Escape, a phenomenal release. I actually don't love his fade, but I'm just going to say this card plays so good defensively. He plays so well. Add Hoff clamps to him, yes. But I think people are, there's a reason that everybody uses Terry. He's really, really good. His release is phenomenal. He does a ton of things well at shooting guard. Sorry, at small forward. Larry Bird is who I have at number 4. Larry Legend is 6'9". Good player build, smooth release, got his base changed to Emmanuel Quickly base, which definitely helped it. SIGs wise, he has really nice SIGs, to be honest. Pro 2 fade as well. And again, 6'9", versatile playmaker, great all-around stats and badges, super elite defender, which is something that I really like, and he does have Hoff Movable Enforcer. This Larry Legend card is really, really good, and I think he's a little slept on at the small forward position. Number 3 is going to be Danny Ferry, who is 6'10", with a glitchy release that very much reminds me of his 2K21 Galaxy Opal release. This combination on Very Quick is just really, really good. With Steph dribble style, not the greatest escape, but not actually a bad escape in the Curry slide as well. Yes, his SIGs could be a little better, but he's 6'10" with an absolutely incredible release and also a very, very good, well-rounded both slasher, shooter, playmaker, and defender. Having that Hoff handles for days is nice. Defensively, he's elite and very big. I really like the card. I think number 3 is fair. Number 2 is going to be Luol Deng. Luol is just, I truly believe he's basically just a slightly better version of a Danny Ferry. Similar movement-wise, very elite release as well. Super athletic, capable playmaker, and defensively absolutely phenomenal. He's got Trey Fade, which is a huge W. SIGs-wise, like I said, could be a little better, but also not terrible. Curry slide, John Wall's drag back, decent escape. Very nice, smooth release with that Trey Fade as well. Luol Deng is awesome. I like Jonathan Isaac the most personally at the small forward position, though, right now. I think defensively, him having every Hoff in the big game, defensively at 6'10" with a massive player build is really, really nice. He's super athletic with a very easy release, and playmaking-wise, super duper solid. Could be a little better as a playmaker, but in general, I mean, his SIGs are no worse than guys like Ferry and Deng on this list. And for me personally, at the small forward position, I mean, I can live without elite primary ball handling ability because I can get that at the shooting guard position and the small forward, at the point guard position so easily. So I like the defensive small forward that Jonathan Isaac provides. Really, that all of these guys provide, but especially John Isaac at number 1. At the 4, power forward position is going to be Emeka Okafor at number 5. Emeka has a flaw that a couple of these cards at the power forward position have, and it's not a huge flaw, but it's just that the 3-ball rating's a little low. Only an 83 ball. But he does have very good animations. He's a good playmaker. He's an amazing defender and a great finisher. Has good size with an elite 7'4" wingspan. Super good release. That's the most important thing. Hard behind the back, Kobe escape as well. Gives him pretty good SIGs. And I just think him having a great release is the most important thing that really helps overcome that slightly lower 3-ball. And obviously as an elite versatile slasher, defender and also like a capable enough shot creator. I like him at number 5. I think Bill Russell is a little better than Emeka Okafor. I think he's a little better as a playmaker. Jamal Murray behind the back. I like his release a lot as well, to be honest, even though his upper is strange. As a whole, I like the release. Kobe fade is good. Sigs are not bad at all. Kobe escape, John Wall drag back. Jamal Murray behind the back, and yes, he could use some playmaking badges, or sorry, some shooting badges added especially, and some playmaking, add handles for days, of course. But defensively, as a finisher, he's unmatched, 97 speed. He is still one of the very best power forwards in the game, and he's the best free power forward in the game for sure. Number 3 is going to be Bol Bol. Despite being 7'2", I don't think his release is as good as either of the two guys above him, and I think they give you similar amounts of defensive ability as well. Only gold movable enforcer on Bol Bol kind of contributes to him playing a little smaller than 7'4" sometimes, as I think does slightly lower defensive stats, although obviously they're really good. Badges are still phenomenal. Defense or playmaking wise, he is very capable, especially for a power forward. Does have pretty good sigs. With Kobe dribble style, KD escaped, hard behind the back. But I do think the release isn't quite as good as the two guys above him, who also are elite level defenders and can put the ball on the floor. And I think it's fair to put him at 3. I like Thurmond better. I think Thurmond could almost be argued number 1 as well. But I'm putting him at number 2 for now. 6'11" with a 7'2" wingspan, hot spots from basically everywhere. He needs some shooting badges added that will really update the card. If you can add Agent 3, blinders, limitless, that type of stuff. Decent playmaking badges, elite defender, really versatile defender. He's a lot like, I feel like, a Bill Russell, except he's an inch taller. His release is honestly probably even a better with a good upper. Pro 2 fade is a huge W, as well as elite level sigs. Really, really great card. With shooting badges added, he is a threat from everywhere on the court. But to me, I'm giving the number 1 spot to Kwame Brown. Not by a ton, but I think Kwame, number 1, his release is just incredible. This Kobe-based Tim Duncan up around very quick is absolutely cash. Kimba escape, Kyrie dribble style gives him a couple of really good go-to sigs as well. And then I think number 1, Hoff limitless on him. Just having the base shooting badges already be really, really good is something that does give him an edge over a guy like Thurmond, who needs those shooting badges added. And then I think he's still a capable playmaker, still an elite level, really versatile, really good defender, and overall just a phenomenal card. I don't care that his defensive stats have lower pass perception and defensive consistency. Those stats do not matter the way that the rest of them do. And I think as a whole, he's just an incredible card who does everything well at the power forward position. He's my favorite power forward in the game. Center, Akeem Olajuwon at number 5. Akeem can play the power forward position just as well as he can play center. He's, an incredible card. 7 foot with a 7'3" wingspan, really good release, can play make pretty well, has Pro 2 fade, versatile defender, versatile slasher, Hoff limitless on the base card. Playmaking wise, really, really solid. Really, his only complaint would be that he's only 7 foot. Everybody else on this list is at least 7'2". But he has Pro 2 fade. His release is awesome. Couldn't really squeeze him on to the power forward position, but I wanted to find a spot for him somewhere, so we put him at number 5. Still one of the most versatile and good big men in the game. Number 4 is going to be Mark Eaton, 7'4", massive dark matter center who is just dominant on the interior, has the biggest player build in the game at the center position outside of Yao, who's not on this list because he's 100 overall, and I didn't include those. But 7'4" with a 7'7" wingspan, amazing finisher. He needs a lot of shooting badges added. That's okay. He has a low 3-ball 69. His release is pretty good, though, and defensively, he's great. He's got good speed. He's an amazing standing dunker, and I, like I said, don't hate the release. So, as a whole, not a bad card. John Wall escape, Kobe dribble style gives him, like, actually halfway decent-ish sigs, too, if you add a playmaking badge or playmaking shoe and have Mike D'Antoni. But, I don't know. I like Eaton. I think number 4 almost feels a little low, but I love this artist skill mark card. I know he's only 7'2". His afro makes him look damn near as big as Artist and damn near as big as the other 2 guys on this list as well. And his release is number 1, just absolutely cash. Yes, he needs some shooting badges added. You want to add things like Deadeye, Guard Up, Limitless, maybe Agent 3, maybe Spot Finder or Open Looks or something like that. Like, there are good badges to add for sure, but he is amazing defensively and amazing as a dunker, just like Mark Eaton. He's 2 speeds faster than Eaton, and I think player build-wise, nearly as good. And honestly, I like his release probably a little bit more as well. Has the pro dribble style, Kyrie escape as well, so he just like Eaton has a little bit of sigs. Not really much, but that's a little something. So as a whole, I think number 3 is fair. I actually do like him better than Eaton. Number 2 is going to be Kristaps Porzingis. KP is 7'3" with unbelievable shooting ability and very good versatile defense as well. Great finisher, solid playmaker, really well-rounded, good card. Yes, he could be a little faster, but again, he's 7'3". His release is super nice. He's as fast as Artist Gilmore and Mark Eaton, if not a little faster than them. And then sigs-wise, yes, they could be a little better besides Kobe dribble style. But his release is absolutely incredible, and he's just so complete as a shooter that it is hard to keep him out of the top 2. And you could argue 1, but I think Wemby's the best center in the game still. The Pro 2 fade at 7'4" with near 90 speed is just absolutely unfair, and the card is Still one of the glitchiest and most dominant cards in the game. Definitely the best center in my team still. There's just something glitchy about a guy with his level of size, but also with elite shooting ability, with an elite fade, all that type of stuff, with some actual movement ability. All those type of things just absolutely transform this 1B card, and I think make him the best center in the game for sure to this day. So, with that being said, that is the final card on this list, and that completes all 5 positions. So, point guard being Clyde, SGA, Gilbert, Eddie, and LaMelo. Shooting guard having Glenn, and then 4 gambling cards, yes. And then small forward does only have 1 free card at Terry Dishinger, a bunch of other gambling cards. Power forward's got not free, but buyable, I guess, theoretically, Thurmond, if you collect cards for him. And then Bill Russell is free, some gambling cards there as well. And then a free Artist Gilmore with admittedly more gambling cards, although Hakeem was buyable for VC. A lot of gambling cards in this list, yes, but it's nice to see some free cards sprinkle in here and there at most, if not all of these positions, and especially at the point guard position. Really, really nice to have a bunch of elite free point guards. As a whole, though, that is going to do it for today's video. So I hope y'all did enjoy. If you did, make sure you hit that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. I'll be back with more 2K content very, very soon, and I appreciate y'all. Peace.